What's up, fans and viewers? It's the Air Raid Lord, and I kind of have some things to get off my chest right now concerning a game that has come out recently. This game means alright, let me take that back. This game in particular doesn't mean a lot to me, but the series, and particularly the past entries of this series, do mean a lot to me, okay? Because I have spent a lot of time playing this particular game series and playing the newest iteration of this game feels very weird, and I have a couple of gripes and things I want to talk about with this game. Obviously, it's on my dashboard. The game I'm talking about is Halo 4, okay? Now, let me just, before I start, give you guys a history of where I stand in my knowledge of the Halo series, okay? I started playing Halo back in 2000, was it 4 or 5? It was either 2004 or 5 with Halo 2, okay, on the original Xbox. And it was actually the first time I was ever introduced to the Xbox. I'll remember it like it was yesterday. I was at a shop, a local game shop known as Airport Video. It is unfortunately closed right now, obviously, because people don't do LAN gaming anymore now that there's online gaming. But back in the day, when there was no Xbox 360 and no PS3, and the only systems you really had was the Xbox and PS2, I was at this store, and my friends introduced me to the Xbox for the first time. And of course, the game that was popular on that system was Halo 2. So I played it, and I played it with a whole bunch of people on the System Link console LAN matches, and we just played for hours. I was hooked on the game. I just kept playing. I loved the feel of it. I loved, the alien weaponry. I loved everything about it. And the game was really fantastic. It stood out to me as a unique game, a unique shooter, and it's pretty much what people felt when Halo Combat Evolved came out. When Halo Combat Evolved came out in 2001, and unfortunately I did not buy Halo Combat Evolved when it first came out, but that was what people felt. People were like, wow, this is so new, For so long, first-person shooters have really just been on PC, and nobody really thought they'd succeed on consoles, but Halo has kind of showed us all that they can be successful on consoles. So, with Halo 2, I really got into the Xbox scenery, and I kind of switched from being a PlayStation fanboy to switching over to the Xbox side, because at the time, the PlayStation 3 was taking 700 years to come out. It was overpriced, and I just didn't feel like buying it. So I went with Halo on the Xbox, and Halo 3 was announced that it was coming out, so I was hyped. I bought a 360, I bought Halo 3, and I played that game probably more than I played a game ever in my entire life, I'd say, other than the Jak and Daxter series, and maybe the Grand Theft Auto series, if you really count, total game hours. Halo 3, I have so many memories. I have memories of playing casually with my friends. I have memories of forging, which is creating these custom maps with objects from the game. I have memories of doing crazy custom matches late Friday nights with pizza and just playing around with friends. I have memories of being part of competitive communities with my Lords of War clan, where we took on various clans, various top Halo competitors, and I remember we were so close to actually facing the makers of Halo, Bungie. We were very close to fighting them for recon armor. At the time, it was a very rare armor permutation, and we were close to fighting them, but unfortunately some things fell through the cracks, and we did not, unfortunately, get to fight them. But I was really into Halo. The peak of my Halo career was probably in late 2008. I'd say that's when, well, actually, early 2008 is when I was at the peak of my career. Like, the climax, the highest point I was ever, the most competitive I was at Halo 3 was probably early to mid-2008. Once it got into late 2008 and then it went into 2009, I started losing interest a tad bit, especially with the announcement of Halo 3 ODST, which kind of, we were playing as an orbital shock trooper and there was no multiplayer. I kind of fell out of it. And then when Reach came out, I did try out Reach, but it was very different from Halo 3. It was still Halo gameplay, but the way things worked with the armor abilities, and now that you could, in a way, choose your classes between different rifles, kind of threw me off. And also to the fact that many of the maps in Halo Reach were just remade multiplayer maps from the campaign, so they really didn't put much time into it. In Halo 3, every single multiplayer map in that game was a new map that they put hard time into making and hard time into weapon placement and everything else. So Halo Reach didn't really take off for me. I was pretty good at the game since I was competitive with Halo 3, but there were times when, I would screw up just because, armor lock especially pissed me off with that game. And so I kind of fell out with Halo, and when I started my YouTube channel in late 2010, there was no time for me to play Halo, so I kind of lost a lot of my competitive skills between late 2010 pretty much up until now. So, having seen I went to New York Comic Con and I saw Halo 4, and I was kind of conflicted because, yes, the audio and the graphics, they definitely improved them, but again, it was the gameplay that I had the gripe with. So, very quickly, this review is mostly about the multiplayer of the game. But I'm going to briefly go into the campaign and the Spartan Ops mode, the optional co-op mode you can do with your friends. Okay? The campaign, obviously, is a sequel to Halo 3. Master Chief wakes up on the Forward Unto Dawn, and he needs to basically stop this evil race that has awakened, the Prometheans, which are basically Forerunners, the ancient series that has been basically a mystery for much of the Halo series. And he has to, basically with Cortana as his, conscience throughout the game, as usual, he has to take down this Forerunner threat, okay? And, obviously the Forerunners are the new enemy type. You got Promethean Knights, and you got the little crawling people, and you got the little drones that protect the Knights. They're new enemies, obviously. They're something that people obviously wanted to be in Halo 4 to add a little bit of spice to the game. And then, of course, there are new weapons that go with that. You got the light rifle, the incineration cannon. You've got a whole bunch of new Promethean weapons. Now, I have a couple of gripes with the enemies, okay? For people who have played Halo 2 and Halo 3, you'll know that there are classes of enemies, okay? There's the leader of the pack, which is basically the elite, or in Halo 3, it was the brutes, okay? And these guys have an extra layer of shielding. Most enemies in Halo can be taken down with a single headshot from a rifle, whether it's a battle rifle, a carbine, the DMR, and basically there are other weapons you can use, the light rifle being the newest, but for the most part, enemies go down in one hit from a headshot. I'm talking grunts, jackals, trying to think of other drones. I don't think there are actually any drones in the Halo 4, but most enemies, unless they're special types like hunters, which are a rare enemy type where you have to find different ways to kill them, most enemies go down in one hit, okay? Now there's an exception. There's one weapon in Halo which is the staple, which has been in the game since Halo 1, which everyone knows as, is the plasma pistol. If you hold down the fire button, the plasma pistol will charge. And I think it was starting in Halo 3, they actually had the energy go down. But in Halo 1 and 2, it was actually, you had the energy would not go down from the plasma pistol. It would only go down if you fired it. So basically, if you shoot a charged plasma pistol shot, it is basically an EMP blast. And basically, if you hit an elite with it, or in Halo 3, if you hit a brute with it, it would disable their shields and or their armor. Meaning, they no longer have this extra layer of protection. So you can basically follow up with the headshot, that one-hit kill I was talking about. So basically, the rhythm to Halo is this. You see an elite, you see a brute, you take your plasma pistol out, you charge it up and fire, the guy loses his health, You pop him in the head, his minions go nuts, the grunts and the jackals, and then you pick them off, one by one, until they're dead. That's basically the rhythm and rhyme to Halo, and yeah, there's vehicles and special missions that kind of toss things up a little, but for the most part, that's what Halo is. With the Prometheans, I'm going to say this, and I know people might be angry, it's pretty much the same thing. Other than a couple of different combat situations where those Guardian drone things, which throw grenades back and run away when you shoot them, other than that, it's pretty much the same. And I tested this theory. There's one level where the Prometheans are working with the Covenant. And I actually got a plasma pistol from a grunt. And I said, well, I'm curious. What happens if I charge this thing and shoot it at a Promethean knight? So, sure enough, I tested it. I charged the plasma pistol, shot it at the knight. It hit him. He faltered back, and I saw like a bluish-orange glow emitting from him. I take out my carbine. I shoot him in the face, like the center of his armor plate. He disintegrates and dies. So that tells me that as much as the Promethean Knights are unique, combat-wise, they do move differently, they have new weapons, and, they can teleport and run up to you and hit you and stuff. That's definitely different. But from a combat standpoint, they pretty much have the same takedown maneuver. You charge up a plasma pistol, or you use some sort of plasma-based weapon to knock their shields down, then you follow up with some sort of human rifle that can knock them in the head so that they die. And that's the same thing with the minions, those little crawling guys. You'll see that there's an orange face to them. And if you shoot that orange face, they'll explode and die. It's similar to how if you shoot the grunts one time in the head, they'll fall over and die. So, are you starting to see some of the similarities between the Covenant and the Prometheans? As much as the Prometheans are a new enemy type, and as much as the weapons are new, it's pretty much, in a way, the same thing. Because think of the weapons. The incineration cannon is just like a rocket launcher. The suppressor is basically just an assault rifle. I forget what I think it was the bolt shot is like the standard. It's almost like a Magnum, basically. The binary rifle is basically a sniper rifle. It just does a little bit more damage. The scatter shot. It's a shotgun, basically, except when you kill somebody, their body disintegrates instead of just falling over and dying. So many of the weapons are basically the same types. They fall into similar categories that the other weapons do. You got your rocket launchers, which would be the rocket launcher, the fuel rod cannon, and the incineration cannon. You've got your rifles, the light rifle, the Covenant carbine, the battle rifle, and the DMR, which I don't know why they have the battle rifle and the DMR in one game. That's another thing that kind of frustrated me, especially in multiplayer, but I'll get to that in a minute. But you have classes of weapons, and you can pretty much put these weapons in the class. Now, I know to an extent that makes sense, but it's just kind of weird because these weapons pretty much do the same thing that the other weapons do. There's no real uniqueness. What's the difference between a shotgun and a scatter shot? There's really no difference. The shotgun and the scatter shot shoot the same way. If I shoot someone with the shotgun, they're going to die at close range. If I shoot someone with the scatter shot, they're going to die, but of course their corpse explodes and catches on fire and disintegrates. It's just a little bit of a difference. There's not much of a difference, okay? So, that's just a complaint I had. The story of the game, it's hit or miss, to be quite honest. I was kind of confused because it's the typical, okay, we've seen this before, the Prometheans have awakened and we have to stop them, and the game, I'm going to say, didn't feel like previous Halo games because it was more of a Master Chief must save everyone kind of thing. I know it was like that in Halos 2 and 3, but Halos 2 and 3 had a different feeling to them, okay? There was different music. I know 2 different studios made Halo 3 and Halo 4, but there was a different theme to Halo 3, where yes, you're trying to stop the Prophet of Truth, but there was more of a space kind of, mystery behind everything. Halo 4 seems like some sort of action movie where Master Chief's just taking down everyone, and the the mystery aspect behind the game has just kind of completely vanished. Now that these are, okay, these are the Forerunners. Finally, the mystery has been solved. We no longer need to keep asking ourselves who the Forerunners are. That's it. It's no longer a mystery. I don't know. I kind of liked in Halo 2 and Halo 3 that it was this big mystery that these guys were this secret race that were extinct, that were kind of doing things behind the scenes. And now I don't know. That's just a personal feeling of mine, again. But I just feel it takes away from the immersion of the story just a tad bit, okay? And the ending, yeah, the ending is, in a way, it's a bit of a closure for the game. But again, they've admitted outright that there are going to be at least 2 more Halo games, Halo 5 and 6, because they said this is a new trilogy. So Halo 4 is the first of this new trilogy, so there's going to be 2 more games. So, I don't know, I'm hoping that they can improve some things, but let me get into the last 2 modes, which is the Spartan Ops and the multiplayer. Now, the Spartan Ops basically is your typical, almost like the operative missions in Modern Warfare 3. You basically team up with a bunch of people or by yourself to do objectives which are offshoots of the campaign, in a way. It could be freeing a bunch of Marines, it could be taking down a certain number of enemies, it could be defending a point, destroying a bunch of power cores. Pretty much just typical things you'd expect. And it's kind of fallen into that category as the known mode. It's that known mode, it's that extra addition. Most people, when they play Call of Duty and they play Halo, they know that the campaign is going to be wicked freaking short. So everyone knows that, for Call of Duty, the most recent one, you have zombies, which adds more content. For this, it's the Ops mode. So, I don't know, it does add gameplay, but I just feel like it's a little linear in its design. I definitely like the firefight mode a lot better in Halo Reach, about defending waves and waves and enemies. It felt rewarding with the skulls activating. This one can get kind of boring, because what happens when you beat all 5 chapters of the Ops mode? What happens? Oh, you can go do them on Legendary, but where's the replay value in that? Like, I don't know. That's just my feelings on it. But now that I've said that, let me get into the last thing, because I know this video is going long, but let me get into the last thing, which is multiplayer. As I've said at the beginning of the video, I used to play Halo 3 competitively, so I have a lot of strong feelings on the multiplayer of Halo 4, okay? To make it short, I don't like the changes that they've made to the game. I don't. I absolutely hate the changes that they've made to Halo 4, okay? I know people are going to get angry when I say this. Some people might agree, some might not. You're free to disagree if you want. But I feel the game has become a lot like Call of Duty, okay? It's very evident when I see perks that are now in the game where you can get your shield back faster, where you can pick up ammo, like Scavenger, or you can start with ammo, Scavenger Pro, or you can reload faster, Sleight of Hand. There are lots of perks in this game which people look at and they're like, oh, I think I've seen this before. So, it's just weird. Halo 3 never had perks. It never had them. It was an equal game. That's what I liked so much about Halo 3, and this is why Halo 4 fails at doing that. Halo 3 was a balanced playing field, okay? When you started playing Halo 3, no matter if you were a level 1, let's say you're a level 1 in Halo 3 and you're fighting someone who's a level 50, okay, a general in Halo 3. The game is still evenly matched, okay? Yeah, I'm sure the level 50 has more experience playing the game and they probably know more about the map than the person who's the level 1, but that's the point. That's the point of Halo, knowing the map and knowing what weapons succeed over other weapons more, okay? In Halo 3, everyone starts with an assault rifle and sometimes a pistol, okay? It's equal, it's balanced, okay? And there are more powerful weapons on the map. There are swords, sniper rifles, shotguns, carbines. There are other weapons on the map that you can pick up which would give you the edge, but you have to get to them first. You have to execute yourself in the game, instead of executing yourself outside of the game in customizing your class. So beforehand, in Halo 4, now you have the option. You don't have to start with the same weapon now. You can choose from the assault rifle, the battle rifle, the DMR, the carbine, the light rifle, the suppressor, and on and on and on and on. You can choose from a huge variety of weapons, a huge variety of armor abilities, and a huge variety of grenades, plasma pistols. You can essentially start with the noob combo. If anyone doesn't know what the noob combo is from Halo 2, it's basically a rifle, any type of rifle which can scope, and a plasma pistol. It's the same thing I was talking about in campaign. You charge the plasma pistol up, you shoot it at a guy's shield, they have no shield, you take out your rifle, you pop them in the head. Done. Now, the noob combo is kind of hard to pull off because Halo 4's multiplayer has changed so much, okay? The plasma pistol is definitely the weapon to go with if you're looking for a secondary weapon, because it not only disables shields, but it also disables vehicles, especially if you're trying to disable a Mantis. That's definitely helpful, because in this game, vehicles, when you disable them, they don't work anymore. In Halo 3, if you disabled a Warthog, the guy on the gunner would still be able to shoot. In Halo 4, if you do that, the guy on the gunner cannot shoot. So that's a little different. And it's the same thing for vehicles like Scorpions and Wraiths and Ghosts. In those games, in Halo 3, you used to be able to shoot your gun even though you couldn't move. In Halo 4, the vehicle doesn't do anything. It's just sitting there like a sack of shit. Which is another thing that pisses me off, but let me just talk about the gameplay first, how it's just kind of unbalanced. Because everyone goes into this game with more knowledge. So let's say, let me use my same analogy that I used for Halo 3. A level 50 in Halo 4 goes up against a level 1 in Halo 4, okay? The level 50 is going to have every freaking unlock available. They're going to have the perk that lets them unlock their ordnance faster. They're going to have the perk which lets them reload faster, which gets their shields back faster. They're going to have the Promethean vision. They're going to have the regeneration field. They're going to have active camouflage, which I insanely disagree with should be an armor ability. Active camouflage was never an armor ability. In Halo 3, it was a power-up you had to find. Once again, something you had to be tactful with in finding and knowing how to use, knowing when it respawned. And, of course, they make it a freaking armor ability in this game. People abuse it, hide in corners. I walk by, and then I get killed by someone who's crouched in the corner with fucking active camouflage. And it's not like Halo Reach, because at least in Halo Reach, when you activated active camouflage, your radar got all fucked up, so you knew that there was somebody who had the camouflage. In this game, that doesn't happen. The dude just sits there in a corner, and you just get fucking murdered because they abuse that ability. It's stupid. It's not equal and balanced like I'm trying to explain Halo 3 used to be. Everyone started with the same weapons. Everyone had 2 grenades and 1 weapon, which was the same weapon. From there, you had to know where you were spawning, you had to know where the good weapons are, you had to know how to use them, and you had to know where the correct ways and pathways in each map was. That's not the case in Halo 4. It's a big clusterfuck of overpowered weapons. When you start the game actually tells you where the powerful weapons are. You'll see on your radar, oh, the scatter shot's over there. The grenade launcher's over there. The sniper rifle's over there. Like, how is that fair? Like, it just tells everyone. It holds these kids' hands, because I'm sure little kids play this game. It holds their hands. Oh, here are the weapons. We don't want the game to be hard for you. Here they are. They're over here. Go pick them up. We want you to use them. We want you to fucking abuse the game and camp with the sniper and use active camouflage and completely ruin the game for people who are trying to play it. It's stupid. Having played Halo 3 competitively in MLG and having talked to people who used to play it competitively, this game is a disappointment to people who used to respect this game and play it so much. Halo 4 has changed everything. It's now an uneven playing field. Everyone can start with a wide variety of weapons. It's just like Call of Duty. When you play Call of Duty, you don't know what weapons your opponent's going to start with. That's okay, that's Call of Duty. Halo never used to be like that. And I've said this 100 times now. You started with the same fucking weapon in Halo 3. Even in Halo Reach, sometimes you started with the same weapon. In Halo 4, for some boneheaded reason, everyone could just choose their weapon class like Call of Duty. And if it's not enough, they have kill streak rewards in this game. Or should I say score streaks? Because basically when you get enough points from defending the objective, getting assists, getting kills, it counts towards a little meter in the left-hand corner of your screen. Once you fill that meter up, guess what? You get a perk, which gives you an overshield, an armor ability, or a powerful weapon. Once again, there's one which is really stupid, which increases it actually increases how powerful your weapons are. So I could get this extra increase in my weapon, their capabilities, and I could shoot someone, and it would only take like one shot from an assault rifle, like half a clip, where it usually takes a full clip, which it's just dumb. People find ways to abuse this shit, and it's just dumb. It's really fucking stupid. Halo 3, it was difficult to know how to abuse that game. It was really tough because you really had to know the maps, know where the good camping spots were, know where the good weapons were. You had to know when they would respawn, and it made the game competitive. I know I'm repeating these points, but I need to hit home. These are points that make this game just not good because they didn't stick with this. And again, I kind of understand in a sense why they didn't make them. Because this isn't the same company that made Halo 3. Yeah, a lot of the employees probably once made Halo 3, but they're not the original Halo game makers. They're 343 Industries. They're not Bungie. They're not Bungie. They're 343. So it's different. You know, I will never know if Bungie had stayed with Halo 4, how that would have turned out. I will never know, because it's never going to happen, and it would almost be interesting to see if they would have stayed true to their Halo roots, or if they would have gone in the completely opposite direction. But seeing how Halo Reach turned out, where they were starting to go towards a class system with armor abilities and choosing your stuff, it kind of looked like it was going to happen like that anyway. So it is kind of disappointing. So, to conclude this video, because I've been ranting a lot about things in Halo, I'm trying to hit these points home because I'm very disappointed. I used to play this game competitively. I actually had plans on the channel to continue with competitive Halo footage, but because this game is so freaking broken, and I've played a good amount of time now. I've done lots of matches. I think I'm ranked 30. I have put a lot of time into trying to understand this game. I've tried various game modes. SWAT, I actually have to say SWAT is pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same game mode. It is from Halo 3, because you don't have shields and you don't have radar and there are no perks or anything. So it's pretty much a classic Halo 3 mode for anyone who wants that in Halo 4. So I do have to give the game a plus in that direction, but especially when in Halo 4, when you can kill someone from long range with a DMR in 4 freaking shots, when I'm trying to snipe you, that's bullshit. Not even in Halo 3, when you were getting headshots from that long range, did it work. In Halo 3, when you were trying to do that with a rifle, the rifle usually couldn't get that range because it was too freaking far. In this game, they give every rifle range, and I don't know. I feel like this game, to conclude, because this video is about to end, that they gave way too much free reign to this game. They made it too flexible and too much like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Black Ops, whatever you want. The entire Call of Duty franchise screams in Halo 4, and it's disappointing. And I don't know if I'm going to play Halo 4 ever again. This game is just disappointing to a fan who's stuck with the series for so long, played Halo 3 competitively, and has now invested a good amount of time in Halo 4, and have picked out the major flaws in the game. So, everything said, I think Halo 4, at the end of the day, gets an 8.5. It's a good game if you just want to have fun, but it's just an annoyance. It becomes an annoyance to a point, and it just becomes unplayable. So that's it. This video is about to end, and I am done my rant. That is everything you need to know about Halo 4. I have explained to you why the multiplayer is broken and why I don't feel this game is as great as many people said it was. A freaking, what was it, a 9.8 from IGN? Yeah, okay, they're really being honest, yeah. I'm sure that's an accurate game review, so that's it. I'm done. I'm the Aerie Lord. I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. Comment, and I hope you liked the video.